their top lane and jungle, they tend to be overstepping quite a lot, and I hope this is not going to happen today.
Okay, so we're into draft. Was quite the solution we're looking at, but at least this will give you guys an idea for how that early game might go. Have fun, and I'll be back later.
Thank you very much, RMC. We are underway into the draft, and already we've got Tristana slammed down on one, a champion that has been largely perma-banned across this week. Rel, Kaisa, those kind of champions still up and available, very much ones that we're probably expecting to see. But Slurry, as we move into this draft, I do want to highlight this top lane, ZZK and Guigo. We've already talked about them a little bit. Two very prolific, super carry top laners that we have here in the CBLOL, both having excellent splits so far. Last time around, ZZK got the better of Guigo in the one-on-one. But are we expecting some fireworks on that side this time?
Yes, and I'm expecting Gwen on the top lane, especially for ZZK, because I saw already one, and that was more than enough for me to be convinced that this can actually work if the team is playing around ZZK, drafting and playing around him. So I hope this is going to happen, or just some sort of a carry top laner for them. But look at that! This is going to be Rel for Nia, so they have to go in and smash now as they promised, right?
Yeah, Nia called a shot. You gotta respect it. I mean, just bringing that one out, denying it from Damage, who I'm sure would love to pair it alongside this Kai'Sa. We've been seeing the likes of Nautilus, Alistar, Rakan in response to this Rel. So maybe VKS, they can just pick up the Ahri, knowing that they've got their pick of the litter and support on pick number 4. And as we move forward, I mean, INTZ and Vivo Cade, they both locked in a decent amount of skirmish, lots of laning power for both sides. And despite this Tristana, it's largely what we've been seeing throughout this weekend.
I'm very sold on the Poppy so far, to be honest, because I am already seeing 3 champions on the side of KS who want to be engaging into the enemy, who want to be extremely mobile around the battlefield. Poppy is going to be so good into stopping them right on their way, right mid of the flight. I love it, and I'm always slightly concerned when people pick more mobile champions into Poppy, but the Cassiopeia ban at least is making me a little bit happy from VKS, because that would have been a complete death for their team composition if only she was picked from the side of INTZ.
Both Cassiopeia and Poppy sounds pretty terrible to play against.
Yeah.
Also, Nosferus, a big Cassiopeia enjoyer here in the CBLOL. It's his most played, or tied for his most played on the split with 3 games of Cassio. So he's definitely been a connoisseur of the champion.
They banned Swain! Ah, come on! I'm begging to everything and everybody to see a Swain game, because this is my absolute favorite champion. I can talk for ages about him and how good he is, and I am seeing him finally in CBLOL, but I'm seeing him grayed out in the bans, and I am not happy about it. But I'm seeing Gwen, and that's something I am happy about.
So, you know, Slurry, it sounds like to me we got to get you on a loud game where Tinones is playing against an Ahri, because that guy will bring out the Swain, and if I'm not mistaken, undefeated on it in his entire career, like 11-0, something like that. So, pretty huge win rate right there. I like the Gwen hover, but I think seeing support locked in is not surprising, considering we've already highlighted the importance of this top lane matchup. I think getting a counter pick for Guigo is going to matter a lot, especially when last time these 2 laners faced, it actually was Guigo blind picking Gwen and getting countered by ZZK's Kennen that really made his life so difficult.
I am loving this hover of Owen, and I have a feeling that it is going to be locked in, because this is going to be a massive powerhouse. And if we're talking about a carry top laner, this has to be something of the type of Olaf. He just wants to bully his lane, he wants to dominate it. His power in the early game is insane.
It definitely is, and when you're talking about everyone wanting to run into INTZ, Vivo Cade, clearly a very aggressive comp. Olaf is more than happy for new challengers to rock up to his doorstep so we can smack him in the face with his axes. And not only that, it's ZZK's 6th game of Olaf so far this split. Definitely, again, a connoisseur of the champion, and the Xayah against champions running into you strong as well.
Oh, and they're gonna pick Malphite. They really want to go very all in into INTZ. And INTZ are a comp that wants people to into them. With Xayah as the last pick, the champion that is very happy with engage from the enemies as long as she has ulti up and running. Okay, this is going to be Na in the end, but the idea of Na is pretty much the same. He wants to turn Mega Knight and get as close with the enemies as possible. Everybody else just wants straight up engaging into the enemies. INTZ, in my eyes, right now have a much stronger draft in the sense that their prepared enemies are going to be throwing against them, but they also have their own means of engage with Tristana, with Olaf, with Rel. You can go aggressive as well if you want to.
I've got to agree with you, Solari. INTZ, very stable composition. They got a little bit of engage, they got a little bit of side lane threat, and they've got the double 80 carries to ensure them. The only concern I have for them is being full physical damage, but honestly, you can get a Black Cleaver on this Olaf and some Lord Dominic's regards, it might just not matter, because Vivocade, with all that aggression, it's going to be very, very difficult to get through the stalwart INTZ. But if any team can do it, maybe it just is the Cade Stars if they can land heads on today. RMC, I'm going to bring you back in. How are we feeling?
Can I just say, if INTZ had picked Quinn, they would have magic damage on their profile. I am so disappointed. Neither side picked Gwen when we've got two of the best Gwen players in CBLOL. I'm sure Axe is screaming somewhere. He's been screaming for Gwen all day long so far.
Yeah, I know both Solari and Axeman very big enjoyers of the Gwen, but unfortunately not today. But look, ZZK Olaf still pretty good, I think, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yes. I mean, he's very, very polished on that Olaf, as you mentioned, his most played champion. So definitely very, very excited for that. I actually got worried for a second when they hovered the Malphite for Guigo, because he does play tanks, but I don't think this is the team that you want to be playing tank on. Like, damage overload, I think, is going to be the name of the game a little bit for Cade Stars. And you guys have talked a lot about the compositions, but once you guys get on the Rift, I'd like to know who you thought or who you think won that draft that we just saw. I will, however, hop off and be listening from the audience.
Well, we can definitely know that that little rubber ducky is winning at life right now.
Yes!
Just being chilling on that waterfall. But, Solari, I'll toss RMC's question over to you. I'm feeling INTZ's draft, but I don't know. Is the full physical damage going to be a problem?
I am feeling INTZ very much, especially if they manage to accelerate this Olaf on the top lane. They are going to be pretty much the same as this little rubber duck being chilling for the rest of the game, because they're having to have so much damage that I don't even know what do you do with it. Especially if you're an all-in comp, what do you do with the damage flying your way?
That's a question they're gonna have to answer at some point in this game if they want to win. That's for damn sure. And you know, it's interesting. We talk so much about how aggressive Vivocade's composition is, and it definitely is a very all-in style of comp. But INTZ has a lot of playmaking of their own. Every single lane feels like it could explode at a moment's notice. So really have to keep an eye on where our junglers are. And I've got to agree with RMC as well. Not seeing the Malphite for Guigo and instead getting the carry matchup. Definitely going to be a fun time as Guigo just took a couple axes right in the face.
Yes, and that's more than half of his health bar already gone. That's... I feel like top lane is gonna look like that, especially because Olaf wants it to look this way. Olaf is a lane bully. If he doesn't get the kills during his laning phase, he is one very, very unhappy Olaf, because if he doesn't get the gold prior, the lane prior, if he doesn't get the items early, he is not going to be able to but rather transfer all his damage later in the game. Though now he is the one getting damage in his face, so yeah, fun lane.
Yeah, and the fleet footwork doing a lot of work for Guigo as well. ZZK playing on the edge. He's got the Ghost and the Flash. Lots of kill pressure from both those summoner spells, and going to lifesteal up a bit from the passive. But both junglers, they smell blood in the water, Solari. Starting bot side and clearing up this direction. Now, Yampy is on the Krugs right now, so it could be an early level 3 angle in bot lane as well if they were feeling that.
They would have to go for a tower dive then, and I don't think you necessarily want a tower dive bot lane with Nautilus in it, because he can easily lock you down under the turret and you're not going to like your time on that.
Definitely not, and Grefthar's not going to like his time in the mid lane as Nosferis playing Tristana, doing what she does best, jumping in at level 2 and getting a nice chunk down. That Corrupting Pot will help Grefthar sustain through this lane somewhat, but I mean, Nosferis definitely going to be winning out on these early trades.
A very sneaky Yampi in the meantime just passed by the mid lane. Nothing to see there, folks. It looks like he will be going right towards the top lane to see if he can get things going there.
Yeah, I think ZZK might need some help crashing this wave with how low his health bar is, and they don't know where Grell is on the map as well. That hyper proc doing so much damage. Guigo really in a good spot in this lane. ZZK's aggression getting punished as Yampy is just going to shoulder charge the minion. On the other side, though, damage getting taken very low, is forced to flash away, fearing the blade caller from Ninja Kiwi. So positive trade for INTZ on the bottom side. Meanwhile, ZZK just going to recall in top.
They really are trying to start the thing smashing on the wall lane, and I am loving it. And now the aggression from Grell doesn't have the ignite anymore. There is still an ignite on Nautilus, so that kill pressure definitely is there, especially because they didn't burn absolutely anything on Kai'Sa. And as long as Kai'Sa does have the cleanse with her and the flash with her, they can try to go to counter aggression on the bot lane and can try to go for the kill. Xayah is still only level 3, so she is very punishable if only they manage to land a hook from Nautilus onto her.
Both junglers definitely not really pathing very matched with one another. Yampy still on the top side as Grell here in bottom. Yampy took a lot of time hovering different lanes, so it's pretty far behind in the jungle clear. We'll have to keep an eye on whether or not that ends up mattering. Maybe an early level 6 on the Sejuani. You can get a fight started and try to catch out INTZ and start the snowball that I think we want to see VivoCade come up with.
If level 6 hits earlier for Sejuani and Poppy runs around without level 6, this is going to be applying a lot of pressure for the Dragon from the side of EKS. They are going to be able to contest it and even maybe take it without any contest, because Sejuani's ultimate is massive when it comes to fights around the pits and in the pits. So as INTZ, if your jungler is behind, this is not a fight you would want to take. So for Grell right now, things are looking really good.
Things definitely are looking good, and it's another just very quiet early game. You know, not all of our games have to be too crazy. We're only 5 minutes in. I'm still waiting for those level 6s, and I do like how you bring up the neutral objectives. I feel like VivoCade are going to be more inclined to play towards the Dragon this game, away from the Tristana, Olaf, Poppy 3v3, which is going to be incredibly strong around the 8-minute mark when the Rift Herald does spawn. But ZZK is taken very low. Now, Olaf is strong, but that axe goes wide, and he is super low on HP, but he flashes the wall up. ZZK looking for the kill, gonna land the axe, but Grethar is here. Flash and Charm secures first blood.
Oh no! If you are playing solo queue right now, as all of you are just screaming in chat, where was your missing ping from the mid lane? Well, you are the one who actually should have had a word at least somewhere at the river. This was so unfortunate for ZZK. He burned absolutely everything trying to go for that kill, but the kill in the end is in the hands of... He's very happy getting the golden.
And Solari, you said that Olaf needs to get ahead in this matchup. Well, not only did he not get the kill, he's losing a double stacked minion wave right here. Only level 4, down 20 CS. Guigo has hit level 6. I mean, this is bad news for the Olaf on top side right now.
Very bad news. This is the type of the game that Olaf does not want to have whatsoever. He lives off of his early game pride and his early game aggression. If he doesn't get anything of it later in the game, he's not going to find himself very useful.
Now, INTZ's bot lane, they're just playing very respectful, not allowing anything too crazy to happen. And that first blood being really the only blood that has been spilled so far on Summoner's Rift. And Leslie has anything to say about it. It's going to be a cancel on the Arctic Assault. Grell might be overextended, but that is the level 6. Glacial Prison online, and Yampy does not have the Keeper's Verdict. Trigo returning a lot of fire onto the Rel. Nia burning, but will survive. Everybody taken so low until the root comes out. Ninja Kiwi gets a nice kill back for INTZ, but on the other side, ZZK is miserable in top lane.
Oh no, 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 no. From here on, he is losing this lane massively. He's so behind with items. He's so behind with everything on the top lane. This little Gnat is going to dominate over it. ZZK's life is going to be pretty miserable there. As you said, he needs to rotate somewhere else, or else he just has nothing to do on the top lane. Oh, we have the full replay of how exactly he went down. He actually started pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, landing a couple axes, getting a good health trade, but I mean, the problem, Solari, is you're a level 5 Olaf against a level 6 Gnar that just went mega. There's not really much else to be said about that. ZZK maybe misunderstanding his damage thresholds just that little bit, not able to one-shot the Gnar before the transformation comes out, and gets punished for it.
And now this is going to be a very quick Triforce for this Gnar, and he is going to be mega in absolutely every sense of that word. So the top lane is lost for INTZ right now. They need to find some other ways to play around this game, which is very unfortunate because with all of, you don't just want to have the lane in your hands, you want to rotate these towards the Herald, and you've lost any prior around the Herald whatsoever.
So INTZ's double AD carries still very strong in this game, doing just fine for themselves. So I'm inclined to believe that INTZ is still in an okay spot in this game, but definitely losing so much pressure with the way top lane is going. It's going to make the game a lot harder than it would have been otherwise. And VivoCade, they're just enjoying their slight gold lead that they do have. However, Yempi has found out damage. Rel is not here. Level 5 on the Nautilus, forced to flash away from the crash down, but Nia easily able to flash follow. But hold up, the Magnastorm just went wide, and the collapse is coming out from the Cade Stars. It's gonna be a 4v4. Nia getting taken very low. He will be the first casualty, but damage gonna be traded back. Nidakiwi has no flash available, but does have the Featherstorm. Cleanse to get out of the charm, and the damage comes through. Grell will die to the explosive shot, but Trigo and Grevthar, they've got way too much health. Nosferis will fall, and it's a 4-4-2 in the river, favoring VivoCade.
Now, up till this fight, INTZ were feeling rather fine. They were doing okay. Yes, we didn't get the early game prior. We could have felt better, but it's still all right. We're still getting to the point where we want in the game. Right now, it doesn't look like they're getting there as quickly, at least, as they would like to, because 2 kills on their Xayah is pretty good, but I'm sorry, but this Xayah was not getting out of this fight alive. This was another case of INTZ actually this time overstepping. They're working quite a lot. They're going in, they're thinking they have it easy, but they are underestimating just how quickly the rotation from VKS from the mid lane is going to be there at the river to lock them down from both sides.
It's really the Magnastorm where this fight turned, I think, because INTZ, if they land that one, they should just be able to get Yampi damage rather and get out. But the problem is they're forced to over-chase into that 4v4. And yeah, the damage, just too much. The health bars, too much. VivoCade, they're off to the races in this game. And I was saying how INTZ, a very stable team so far this split, looking quite unstable in this early game.
Yes, unstable is the word. And it's like that everywhere in the map for them on all lanes. They're losing everywhere. They are not getting prior in minions, in gold, in anything whatsoever. And I'm really... It pains me to see what is happening with INTZ in the early game right now, because usually their early game goes relatively okay for them, but right now they're crumbling. Top lane didn't work out for them, which means you need to have your priorities either on the mid lane or in the bot lane. But now bot lane is crumbling too, with Kai'Sa having a triple kill already, 3-0-1. She is getting to her mythic very soon, and you will not like it.
Yeah, VivoCade, they know they're strong. They can just H-raid in. Trico gets shot out, but Nia actually lives for a very long time. It's a 1-for-1 support, traded for support. Now, Grell getting flashed out by Yampi. The shield, not quite enough, but Nosferis does the damage. It's a double kill for the Tristana, and hold that thought.
ZZK!
In the top lane, ZZK, he's back in the game, baby. That's a kill.
This is the game of Casticos. Just before the previous fight, we were talking about how INTZ were feeling, you know, still rather fine, and then they lost the fight massively. After that, we were talking about how everything was not working out for them, and look at them, all of a sudden, everywhere it's working out. They're getting kills on Tristana, who's 3-1. Very happy Tristana leaving the laning phase like that, and ZZK getting a solo bowler kill on the top lane that we already have deemed as an unwinnable for him. I have to take my votes back right now, because all of a sudden, ZZK just found an angle.
I did not have 0-2-0 Olaf down 30 CS getting a solo kill on my bingo card for this game. I've got to be honest with you. That was not what I was expecting to see at the end of that bottom side fight, which also, Nia, so much credit staying alive for so long and landing a lot of CC on a VivoCade to allow the damage to be done.
Oh, this is going to be the first point of the Herald on the top lane. VKS, despite this solo death on the top lane, are still having control over the top side of the map. They still are pushing in, they still are maintaining the vision, but no!
Great hook. Interrupt on the rocket jump means that Nosferis, good flash reactions, able to get away, but a big cooldown blown.
Yes, and this is not a good time to blow out cooldowns for INTZ, because the Drake is still up, and with all the prior that VKS still have in their hands, they are going to rotate towards it and flag it.
first strike of the game at 13 minutes. Is this the latest first strike we've had the split? Maybe we can get someone to confirm or deny that for us, as Slayer, we can see this top lane 1v1 again. CZK this time taking advantage of the mini Gnar timer, waiting that one out. Uses the Ragnarok, flash, axe, Guigo. All the defensive utilities gone, and CZK, as soon as one more undertow lands, he's able to take him down.
It's just about dancing around Gnar and knowing how his forms work, and as you said, waiting out until he gets into the small form. Small form still deals quite a lot of damage, but he needs to be far from the enemy to deal the damage and be able to jump out. If there is no medium wave around small Gnar, you can easily catch him if you are a quick melee champion or a melee champion who has just propped the ghost. Yeah,
that ghost definitely paying a lot of dividends. I see bottom lane's fully swapped up to the top side with that Rift Herald play, but neither Trigo nor Ninja Kiwi opting to go back. And now we see another all-in Ragnarok getting popped, but CZK missing the undertow means that Guigo will be just fine. And the Gnar still ahead in the lane, I think, despite that kill going over. An oopsie, but not the end of the world. As speaking of oopsies, that Buster shot was suspect.
Yeah. Just a little bit of wrong direction, just, you know, a tiny bit.
Little bit wrong, yeah. And it's gonna give that tower over as well, the Vivo Cade. So, look, things went a little not according to plan a few minutes ago, but the Cade Stars, they are still in an okay spot.
Yeah, I would say it's an okay sport for both of the teams. They are equally okay in this game. A slight advantage for VKS, a very slight one in terms of the gold, in terms of the kills, in terms of how well they're feeling on the map, because they're definitely taking more of the neutral objectives and the enemy's objectives on the map compared to INTZ. But other than that, this is not a game that is decided already. This is not a game that is going in one direction at any given moment. Everybody is feeling fine. Everybody's getting the items in already. The first Kraken Slayers are starting to pop into the inventories, and this is not going to be an AP Kaiser. Finally!
Yeah, and Solari, clearly both these teams recognizing who the most important players on their team are, as all three marksmen in this game were at the top of that gold graph. And now INTZ overloading on the bottom side means that ZZK can just knock this one down, answer back with that tower that was taken in top. And as the game has slowed down, I do want to say, I feel like the slow dragon stacking that Vivo Cade has gone for does favor INTZ. We've mentioned the time that this team might need for their double marksman to be able to come online and punch through this Gnar and a Sejuani front line. So having that extra time to scale up with the dragons being delayed might help them quite a bit.
Yes, they want to get the items in, but they also want to get in the fight.
Yeah, Damage wanted to start it, but did not land the hook. He is one shot, and now Grell is out of the fight. Grefthar has the Spirit Rush, so he should be fine, despite the undertow landing. But yet another play that Damage tries to start and just gets popped.
No, Guigo, you don't want to go there. Your Fury is way too away for your own Ninja Kiwi.
Still trying to make a play, but the charm goes wide. The Glacial Prison goes wide. Ninja Kiwi, he put on his blue suede shoes as he's dancing his way through the mid lane, getting out of all the ultis, and that is certainly going to be Rift Herald for INTZ.
The price for the best dance is going to be the Herald. Guigo is around. He's in the mega final form. He could try to do something, but try is the only thing he could go for. Yeah, that's approximately it. This is going to be the Herald for INTZ, and hopefully for them, the first tower on the map as well. No, not the first one, the second one. My apologies, because in the bot lane, ZZK was completely crazy with his turret, and that's one thing, pretty much the only thing you can do with Olaf, who has struggled a lot in the early game. You show him to the side lane and say, go there.
Maybe they can go on the side lane right here. Grell's coming to cover Guigo, but this is a very extended Gnar, and quite a bit of the team is in base. INTZ, yeah, members rotating over, and Guigo actually gonna find Yampy and just interrupt the base real quick. Throw a quick boulder in the back of the head and say, okay, I'm out of here.
That's a statement, okay? And the statement has been made very clearly. Look at that. Whoa. We have a TP on the bot lane. We have a very nice wave for Ari. This is going to be the next Drake for VKS, or at least they want to make it the next Drake.
Yeah, I actually really love this move from Vivo Cade. Guigo overextending that hard before the reset pulled members of INTZ up to the top side, which meant that Noble was here defending in bottom. So they're able to get an additional tower for the play when there wasn't really meant to be any sort of action. So small things like that, starting to extend a bit of an advantage. Gold is still very close, but I do think map control does slightly favor the Cade Stars.
Those First is doing a really good job here. Plus, they're going to release a Herald there. They want to go for both turrets on the top lane. Is it going to be another one? It's going to be Bane!
Oh, Yampy forced to flash away after tanking up the tower. Really good dredge line interrupt. But now, Nia, that's a big engage on the 3, and the punt out means that Trigo is all alone. But Killer Instinct Flash gets him away, and nobody dies except for poor old Shelly.
Except for 2 turrets on the top lane, nothing else. Yeah, exactly. What were you saying about the map control for Wicked? Oh, wait.
Very true. Yeah, this fight's not over. Glacial Prison did land on a Ninja Kiwi who was zoned out of the fight, and now Vivo K, they're collapsing with 5 members, and Olaf is nowhere to be found. INTZ have to try to kite this out and buy time. Nosferus trying to trade one out, but can not. 2 quick kills make it heard as Yampy now is running for his life. ZZK might try to turn this one around. How much damage do you have? This Olaf not very strong, but just strong enough. Now he's working on Grepthar. The stopwatch should be able to buy time. Flash forward as the Ragnarok just barely times out. He does get the shutdown onto Trigo, and a bloodbath in topside results in a 4-for-2, favoring the Cade Stars.
That's such a ridiculous champion. A champion who has been bullied in his lane just goes in and says, hey, I'm not just going to save my teammate from a certain death, I'm also going to get 2 kills, almost 3 kills in the process. What is Olaf made of?
I don't even know. Pure, unadulterated anger and growing up in harsh living conditions in the north, I think is what Olaf is made of, Solari.
Yeah. I wanted to take a look at Ninja Kiwi in this fight because I find it rather interesting how much both of the teams are playing around Ninja Kiwi, understanding how much he brings into the fight. It is his team playing around and protecting him with the Poppy, but also the enemy team jumping on top of him with Grigo being on the backline all the time, really trying to get to the Zaya as his main point in this game.
Certainly, and now with ZZK just showing up, I mean, look, Olaf is just, he's got the Ravenous Hydra, he's still doing work, and I want to point out how big the stopwatch is. ZZK changes targets to flash forward, but the Ragnarok had barely timed out, meaning he was able to get CC'd and killed after taking out Trigo.
I am still not a fan of Arisa go into Everfrost, but Arisa go Zhonya's second item have my utmost respect because Zhonya's is super crucial for Ari, not just to outplay somebody like we just saw in the previous fight, but also because Ari, especially when she's in the midst of a fight, is so dependent on her cooldowns, very intricate ones, and Zhonya just gives her more than enough time to get those cooldowns back and to, in most cases, get out of the fight safely.
I feel like Everfrost Ari feels awful when you're playing against Olaf. Like, it doesn't do anything at all except for a little bit of damage. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Leandries might have been the angle of this game. So many high health bars on the other side, and being the only AP threat, burning those down could really help out. But regardless, it is an Everfrost angle as both teams now just playing slow. INTZ having control of the mid wave, having control of the river, does mean I favor their position slightly as gold is dead even in this game.
And it looks like it might just stay dead even for some more time because both the teams are looking at the Baron very respectfully, but it doesn't look like either of them are going to be able to go for it right now. It is absolutely crucial for both to maintain the vision around the Baron, to make sure they apply enough pressure around it, but to not fully commit, because I would say neither fully commit. Whoever does it is going to be stuck in a position where they don't want to be, because they're going to be stuck there quite literally with the enemies jumping on top of them. Both of the teams have the tools to just completely lock them, like Guigo.
But Yampy with a nice Hex Flash and the good interrupt onto the hop means that Guigo is caught out. No flash up and available, but damage trying to run interference. This is going to be a 5-on-5 Solari as the TP's coming through from Grepthar. They've committed onto Guigo and Damage, who will both be taken down, but not before 2 are traded back. Neo will drop, making it a 3-for-2. However, ZZK, he's damn strong at this point of the game, picking up another one. 3 die on either side, and both teams walk away.
And Ninja Kiwi again was absolutely untouched in this fight, but this time not because of his teammate, this time because he was standing behind in the backline where Zaya really is supposed to be, and because ZZK is absolutely unkillable. He just had Jack Show as his second and his mythic item, so he really is looking into going into those extended fights, not being there to deal damage, even though he deals a lot. He wants to be able to survive for as long as possible.
Take a look at this one more time. It's Guigo that gets caught out initially, but INTZ, they get a little bit split on the call here.
They are very split, to be honest. They are not supposed to have Nia so far away from the rest of the team. ZZK just doing something on the other side of the lane. Yes, getting a kill, but in the meantime, the rest of his team is getting completely obliterated. They need to be grouping up much more than what we've seen from them so far.
I think we now have to start respecting Vivocade's carries quite a bit. That 80 Kai'Sa was shredding through the health bars on INTZ's side. 5-1-4 for Trigo, and likewise, Grefthar, despite going the utility build, 3-0-8, having a great game on this Ahri, but... Sorry, I think you said something about respect towards the Baron. How about a 23-minute flip?
Oh no, I don't like it from INTZ. This is super risky, because Grawl is there already, has the ultimate. It was just a teleport coming in. They don't want to have a 5-on-5 fight on this room.
First verdict goes wide, so does the Dredge line. Yampy, that's an aggressive shoulder charge, gonna get chunked low for that. Little Prison lands onto him, but Nia, he's found 4 in the middle of the fight. What an engage! Coming out from the rail as Trigo is down. The big Harry of Vivocade, and now INTZ, they're chasing after. Damage goes down, but Guigo, he's got Trigo, but the dive goes up in the air, and he dies. INTZ 3, make it 4 for 0.
Why are they fitting this INTZ bot lane? Because they are absolutely insane. Starting from the Nia's engage that you rightfully mentioned, it was absolutely on point with that Magnet Storm catching everybody from the side of VGS, and from there on it was so much CC on them that gave more than enough time for INTZ to stack their damage on top of each other. I want to see this replay. I want to see how exactly it started, because look at that, the KS are going from one side. They're not even trying to split up or anything. They're throwing all in together at this side of the map, thinking they can lock INTZ down or just at least throw them out of the Baron pit, hoping that no fight is going to happen. But right after this, Hook is going to miss. This is a trigger for INTZ when they know they have to answer with their own engage, and this run is going crazy.
Yeah, most certainly is going crazy. That engage, just so sick. Now, this fight really started to break down. I think my brain malfunctioned. I forgot who was even who at this point, as just 80 carries getting tossed in and crazy stuff's happening. And now we're back to live, and Guigo is just dead. But a big Gnar into multiple members is matched by the Keeper's Verdict, meaning that nobody in INTZ dies. And Trigo, that's a killer instinct to the death. What the hell was that?
That was... Don't fight with Poppy in the jungle when there are walls around. Even if you have Mega Gnan, you think you're going to actually use the walls yourself. No, you're not, because you're going to die a little bit too quickly, a little bit before you can actually do anything about yourself. And also, that was Nosferus, that was Ninja Kiwi. They have so much damage. Look at this guy! He just doesn't care about turrets or anything. He just deals the damage.
Ninja Kiwi just killed damage like it was nothing. Sorry, this game has absolutely exploded. 24, make it 34 kills in 26 minutes. This is a bloodbath as INTZ with their Baron. They're taking down a mid inhibitor. They got bot lane inhibitor turret. They're up 8,000 gold all of a sudden, by the way. This game has gotten out of hand very, very fast for the Cade Stars.
And now they need the dragon, or they want more kills.
Hey, or they'll just fight. Nia gets ulted in the face, but it's Nosferus that dies. Mid laner down, this might be the angle for the K-Stars. Ultimate forced out in Ninja Kiwi means that he's not really able to fight, and ZZK doesn't have the Ragnarok. Forced to flash from the charm. Vivocade, they've won the fight. They're going to get Dragon Soul Point. It's something of an advantage, despite being down this much.
I can't believe what this game is delivering. He just keeps on delivering. This is insane. It looked like it was supposed to be a dragon for INTZ. The most logical thing after they get so much from the enemy base, leave this inhibitor on the bot lane untouched, rotate towards the drake. It's going to be a first dragon. You are going to die at soul point. This is Infernal Soul. Having 4 Infernal Dragons is going to provide you with a lot of additional damage that is going to keep scaling with you later in the game. Everything is working out for you, but you decide to stay in the jungle. You're a little bit too greedy as INTZ. You take the blue buff, you turn around to see the enemies, and the enemies have just resurrected. They are full health. They have new items in their inventories. You don't want to be taking this fight, but they disengaged. They lost a lot of resources. They lost the dragon. I don't like it from INTZ, but it's not a game over for them. They keep pushing.
The final game of the weekend, most certainly delivering here in the CBLOL Week 6. These teams playing with nothing held back, as is so often the case. Now, conventional wisdom would say that INTZ is still going to win this game. They are very, very far ahead, 6,000 gold. But CBLOL does not always follow conventional wisdom, Slurry, as I have learned, and at this point, it might just be anyone's game.
It might be a flip for VKS quite easily. They still have a lot of tools to go for a flip. They can have a good fight if they split INTZ around, because having a 5-on-5 is not going to benefit VKS unless they can get to Ninja Kiwi as quickly as possible. Ninja Kiwi and Nosferis, because both of these guys are already dealing a little bit too much damage for VKS to do anything about it.
Well, Neo wants to just get things started right now. That's Grethor. He's one shot and Tree goes out of the fight once again. Getting chased down by ZZK. Forced to flash away. Now, INTZ, they're bearing down on the Nexus towers. Is the game gonna end just like this? 4v5, Yampy went way too far forward and will die. Now Nia, the next target, getting burned down, but Trigo focused elsewhere, can't apply the damage. And Vivocade, I think they've got enough to hold onto their base. It's an inhibitor down, damage is coming back. Nia still looking for these engages, as most certainly been a rel smash this game.
They're still living! They're still living! They're still fighting back! They're still chasing them away!
Oh, that's a deep
no,
TP! Wigo TPing behind! He wants to cut off the escape. Not very close to Mega though, means you have to be careful. Where's INTZ gonna go? They're corralled like cattle in a pen, and Grethor now going to join the fight! Nosferis jumping on the Guigo, forces the flash, trade, and now ZZK's in the middle of everybody. He's down, Nia's down, Ninja Kiwi gonna lose the Guardian Angel to Grethor, but Grethor is down! Trigo finally trades it back! What the hell is happening this game?
This is dying! This is insane! This was not supposed to happen! Especially with the first teleport from Guigo not doing anything. INTZ had just one job to get the hell out of there alive. They failed this one job, and look at how much they're going to lose right now because they are objective bounties for VKS. Can you imagine how much gold they can funnel into them right now? Plus, with 2 inhibitors down, they have so many big minions going into their base. And right now, Guigo is saying, thank you very much. This is going to be funding my 4th item in this game because I'm getting more gold getting right into my base. I don't even need to go anywhere to get it.
But now the gold advantage, only 3,500. Vivocade, they've closed the gap so much. If they can buy time for their inhibitors to respawn, maybe there's a chance they'll both, or one of them, rather, the mid lane inhibitor will be back up by the time Dragon Soul spawns. Infernal Soul for them. But for the next minute or so, it's going to be all about this Baron. Double Marksman can burn it down so incredibly fast, Solari. And this game, 30 minutes in, is on a razor's edge.
And VKS are in a hard position right now. They have already invested both of their teleports to go into this mid lane fight, which means they cannot really rotate to the bot lane at any given moment. They need to be around the Baron. No, this is going to miss.
Damage looks for the play, but Yampy, you are so far forward. What? You get burned down, my friend, by that Kaisa. And now Nia's flipped back. You can't get a 5-man Magnus Storm to get out of that. As Guigo finds another. That's 2 quick kills for Vivocade with Baron on the map. Grethor,
might just be the third one.
That's the hook. Frag can jump, interrupt it, make it
No way! This is the free Baron for VKS. 3 members down of INTZ, including their jungle, including one of their AD carries. This is the free Baron. It was not supposed to be a Baron for VKS. Everything was against their favor. No teleport. So much control from INTZ. Their base so much in ruin, but they get it. They get the Baron, and now they are the ones who can push back and contest the Drake because 8 seconds and it's going to be up.
Slurry, Nosferis is still down for 25 seconds. They should just be able to burn down the dragon before the mid laner's up. It's gonna be Soul for Vivocade Stars with the Baron. Gold in their favor. The Kate Stars are coming back.
No way they're doing it. We thought the game was over. We even had actually Random Minikasa joining us already to jump and discuss the end of the game when INTZ were on their base, but this is not. I'm sorry you're stuck with us for a little bit longer because the game is still going, and now Vivo Keystars are the ones who can win this. Look at their inventories. Look at what's happening there. They ran out on Ari, and half of the void stuff already completed for her. So many items on that Kaiser. Everybody is so damn ready to fight on their side.
I mean, what an insane game. RMC, sorry, but you gotta wait, buddy, because we have got another CBLOL classic on our hands. 32.5 minutes into the game. Conventional wisdom be damned. These two teams playing with nothing held back. Vivo Cade in this position, a must win for the playoff race to maintain their 6th place spot and push into that top 5. INTZ on the other side want to continue to prove they belong amongst the top of the table. These two teams, the gloves have been off. It is nothing but a brawl.
Ari on the bot lane. Ari's the only one. She has a teleport available. She is not far away from her teammates. They can force a fight if they want to, or they can continue applying the pressure on the bot lane, making INTZ make a choice. Do we want to fight it in the jungle? Do we want to stop now? So many things to do all at the same time for INTZ. It's so hard to push back, even having 2 AD carries on that team.
Nia goes in. Nia gets forced away, and now Yampy is the target once again. This Poppy is made of paper, Solari, and now that's a hook on the Nosferas again. This Tristana will die. ZZK will die. Nia will probably die as well. And INTZ, after being 8,000 gold ahead, we get another Kaisa quadra kill. It's not a penta, but it doesn't matter. Vivo Cade Stars, the comeback is true.
No way! No way! We're getting them, not just getting back into the game, but getting the game in their pocket in such a manner. The game was so close. The game was so against them, and now they are the ones taking everything on the enemy base. I can't believe what I'm seeing just a couple of minutes ago. It seemed impossible. But Vivo Cade Stars are the ones